Welcome back to NSC's weekly series Spotlight. We've got a jam-packed episode today. NSC headed to San Diego for the first time, played Aston Villa, an English Premier League team, for the first time, and head to St. Louis for the first time. Let's get started. Welcome back, guys. I'm happy to see you here at a neighborhood pub. Lucas, can you tell us where we're at today?
I love this place. This is Beyond the Edge. This is like a second home for me. If anybody needs a spot to go watch the boys in goal, they can't make it out to Geodis, it's a long road trip, this is the spot right here, Beyond the Edge. It gets hype in this place.
It is. It's called Beyond the Edge for a reason.
Yeah.
You will not even be on the edge of your seat when this place gets hyped for a Nashville SC game. Trust me, you want to be here. And I heard Jalil's actually going to come for the next one, right?
I mean, as long as I get the invite, I'm here. Anything that is vibes up,
Yes.
NSC continuing the ball up, I'm here. I'm all the way for it.
All right, well, let's get started. Let's talk about NSC. They traveled to San Diego for the first time ever. We didn't really know what the expectation was since they never played this team before. But Jalil, what stood out to you from this match?
San Diego's a good team. I thought Nashville did what they needed to do to keep themselves in the conversation throughout the 90, but you have to give San Diego a lot of credit. They're not just a team that is happy to be here in MLS. They are, pushing to be one of the best teams in MLS consistently for a reason. I thought that the game was managed pretty well when you look at Nashville's standpoint. There were a decent amount of opportunities for maybe one or two players to be sent off, but no, they kept it 11v11, pushed the issue, like I said, but at the end of the day, San Diego deserves all credit.
A little bit surprised at how low scoring this game was. I mean, these are two of the most explosive teams in Major League Soccer. 17 total shots between the two. Most of those, Jalil, came in the second half. There wasn't much between these teams in the first 45. Chucky Lozano has a moment set up by Anders Dreyer. Bunch of all-stars in this game, 3 on each side. 4 teams had 3 or more all-stars selected this year. 2 of them were facing off on this night. And I just felt like you saw a little bit of fatigue from Nashville. The press a little bit disjointed at times. It was a funky week, right? All-star game on Wednesday, and every all-star had to go to Austin and then fly straight to San Diego in the case of Hani and Sam and Andy. So it just kind of a strange week and lead up to it. Friday night game, and in the end, San Diego deserved winners. Joe Willis keeping them in it with that penalty save, but just couldn't find that breakthrough at the end.
Right, I think what some people don't understand when watching MLS is that this country is so big that you have to fly hours to get to the other side of the country. What kind of an adjustment do you have to make? Because that was a late kickoff time if you're watching Central Time.
Yeah, I mean, there's not only just the travel, but also the time changes as well. Going from Nashville's time zone to San Diego's, that's a 2-hour time difference. But again, all of these things don't really play into the fixture because the best players for Nashville were in Austin. The best players for San Diego were in Austin. Quick turnaround. So for me, again, San Diego deserves full marks.
All right. Well, how well positioned is Nashville SC in the Shield race?
Right there. Everything is there for the taking that Nashville could be contending for this year. And you can't ask for more than that, right? With 9 games to go, Open Cup semifinalists right now, Supporter Shield contenders, and obviously MLS Cup after the postseason starts. You feel good about your standing right now. 3rd in the East, 3rd in the Supporter Shield, guys. A year ago at this time, we were getting ready for BJ Callahan's little 9-game stretch run to kick off his MLS career as Nashville SC's head coach. It's been a lot that's happened since then, and here they are as contenders, but you have to finish strong, and that consistency that BJ Callahan is looking for, it's games like this, coming up against St. Louis, a struggling side. That's where you show the consistency that typically goes to the team hoisting the Supporter Shield.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday just caught up with the homie Joe Willis, and we're just talking about what this year really feels like, for the players being in the locker room day to day, having to compete, and they expect themselves now to push for titles. They expect themselves now to be in that race when it comes to the Supporter Shield because they've deserved to be in the conversation, right? So for me, these are the types of seasons, the types of teams from a roster construction standpoint that you want to be a part of. Yes, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that expectation, but of course, this is the exciting time, whether it's the players, whether it's us in the front office, and of course, whether it's the fans.
Absolutely. It was an exciting time, and it continues to be. But taking a look at an international friendly, Nashville SC played Aston Villa, first time ever playing an English Premier League team. What does this do for the team's confidence and for their identity on a global standpoint?
Yeah, I think these friendlies are par for the course, and you're obviously playing against a very, very strong, not only Premier League team, but a team that competes in European football over the course of recent years. And they're just getting their wheels going, right? They're in preseason. So you have to put that into perspective. But what I liked about it is that it was entertaining. Yeah. When Villa starts off, they have most of their top-end players starting the match, and you could see the difference. But when the game continued to go on, you can see that Nashville is one of the best teams in MLS for a reason.
I mean, this is a Villa team, finished 6th in the Premier League last year, Champions League quarterfinalists last year. You talk about a good test to stack up your depth against their depth. Other than the win, which Nashville had to claw back right down 2-0, they get a 2-2 draw. So other than winning the game, I feel like you got everything you could possibly want to get out of this game, right? Your star players stayed sharp. Sam Surridge can't stop scoring, scored in the All-Star game as well. Andy Nahar, a good performance when he came on. Your depth players with an opportunity to get tested. Johnny Perez might have been the best Nashville player on the field in this game. Josh Bauer did a job. Wyatt Meyer, what great exposure for him. Not to mention Jordan Knight, Adam Sipich coming into the game against that quality competition. And then finally, you played your game. The Surridge goal results out of the press, that line of confrontation so high up the field. Sam's the one that wins the ball, quickly turns it into a goal-scoring chance, and he equalizes to preserve a 2-2 draw. So checked a lot of boxes on Saturday.
Right. And what about Matthew Corkran, right? This was such a massive stage for such a young player. What does that do for a player's confidence?
I mean, it continues to skyrocket. It seems like every time we're talking about Corkran, he's doing not only the right things, but pushing the conversation to, I deserve to low-key be getting more starts in MLS play. And that's what I love from young players. That's what I love from depth players. That's why we continue to talk about a Josh Bauer, for example, a lot, because every single time he gets his opportunity, he seems to do well with it. Corcoran is really picking up where that leadership that Josh has kind of set throughout the club is concerned, and he's running with it in his own way. Don't forget that this is a very big game, and I would say overall performance from the academy standpoint, where you have Applewhite getting in the game, you have Isaiah Jones getting in the game as well, and you mentioned Sipich earlier. So when you fortify your young players getting confidence against a top European club, that's where, for me, it can pay dividends later on.
I loved what Sam Surridge had to say in the press conference post-match. They were asking him how did he feel about scoring against Aston Villa from a league that he previously played in. And he said, honestly, I'm just looking forward to St. Louis. That's where my head has been. So let's talk about it. Nashville SC has played St. Louis once previously. Can you talk about the history of these two teams and what you're expecting this Saturday?
Well, I know this. Last time St. Louis and Nashville faced off, it was the last time Hani Mukhtar scored a hat trick in gold. Maybe some of those vibes come back around. I don't know. But you're right. Heading to St. Louis for the first time. Obviously a historic city when it comes to soccer in the United States. But, I mean, to put it plainly, Jalil, this is a team that's struggling. This is a team that's 2 points off the wooden spoon. It's never something you can take for granted in this league. But when you're trying to win the Supporter Shield, contend for that trophy, these are the games you got to take care of business in on the road.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a must-win for Nashville. When you look at St. Louis, they're trying to get themselves on the right path, but it's been a struggle. They only have 3 wins since March 16th. That's not a very good sign. What we've seen in earlier seasons at City Park is that it's somewhat of a fortress. Not this year, right? So Nashville needs to go in and impose their will. Like you said, it's not going to be an easy thing because the one thing that we know about MLS is that the home team is typically favored, and parity is definitely something that you always have to fight through. But for me, the Stars need to continue where they left off before the All-Star break and fortify how they've been playing in this MLS season because they don't have to worry about Leagues Cup. They can go full focus on MLS play.
Right. Are there any tactical adjustments that you're expecting from this match?
No, I don't. I personally don't want to see any adjustments other than continuing where you have left off in the friendly, where you have left off in previous MLS games. So tactically, I would expect the team to play exactly how they have been throughout the course of the season. If there are somewhat tweaks, I don't think that it will be anything different than what we've seen, though.
I will say personnel-wise, I'm very curious to see who gets the start in that right attacking midfielder position. There has been an all-out battle there between Ahmed Kassem, Jacob Schaffelberg, and Johnny Perez. Johnny, like I said, fantastic against Aston Villa. Does that give him the nod? I feel like that's going to be a continuation throughout the season, just breeding that sort of competition within the roster, trying to bring out the best in those guys. We'll see who gets the nod this this weekend in St. Louis there.
That's right, we will see. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in on this episode of Spotlight. You can catch the boys in gold this Saturday as they head to St. Louis, kickoff at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. You can watch the match on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV or listen locally on 104.5 The Zone, or you can join one of our favorite neighborhood pubs. Thanks for watching Spotlight.